Hey y'all, in the last video we learned how to deal with exponents when we are multiplying or dividing them. So something like 10 to the fourth over 10 squared, we learned is 10 to the fourth minus 2 equals 10 squared. Okay? In this video, we're going to explore what happens if you have an exponent raised to a power. Okay? So in this case, we have 10 to the fourth squared. And we know this equals 10 to the fourth times 10 to the fourth, right? That's what squaring it means. So what you'll notice here is that we have 4 plus 4 equal 10 to the 8th, right? So using the rules we learned in the previous video of multiplying exponents being an addition. Okay, we have 4 plus 4 giving us 10 to the 8th. What you'll notice here is that 8 is 4 times 2. So the rule we're going to live by is that when you have an exponent raised to a power, we multiply those exponents. So 10 to the fourth squared is 10 to the 8th. 10 to the 8th cubed is 10 to the 24th, right? It's simply 3 times 8 is 24, so it's 10 to the 24th. Negative exponents don't really impact things. The same approach happens. If we have 10 to the 8th raised to the power of negative 3, this ends up being 10 to the negative 24. The only difference is this negative sign carries through, so it's 10 to the negative 24. If both exponents are negative, if I have 10 to the negative 5 to the power of negative 4, well, this ends up being 10 to the negative 5 times negative 4, or 10 to the power of 20. So no matter what sign you have, positive, negative, it doesn't matter. The approach is always the same. If you are taking an exponent to a power, you multiply the exponents. Okay? If you are dividing, you subtract. If you are multiplying powers of 10, you add the exponents. Okay, so that's really all you need to know about exponents and powers of 10. You need to know what happens when you multiply them or divide them, and you need to know what happens when you raise them to certain powers. Okay, all of that algebra is really straightforward as long as you remember those simple rules. Say them one more time. If you multiply exponents, you add, so 10 to the 6th. If you divide exponents, you subtract, so 10 squared. And if you raise exponents to a power, you multiply. Okay? That's it. And the only other big thing we talked about is negative exponents. Remember that a negative exponent means 1 over that value. So 10 to the negative fourth means 1 over 10 to the fourth. In the next video, we're going to apply this to scientific notation. So recall that scientific notation would be something like 1.56 times 10 to the fourth. And note here that we have a 10 to the fourth as part of this. So what happens if we have to take all of this times a value? Or what happens if we have to square this entire thing? Well, we're going to see that the rules that we just learned here matter. So we are going to look at that in the next video.